Hey guys, in the two-man queues, about to play a match with the mono black devotion deck. I'll see you guys when the game starts rather. All right, we will play first. And I think this hand's a keeper. 4 lands is kind of annoying. I'd rather have 3 and a 4th spell, but we do have 2 good 2-drops and an Underworld Connections to draw us deeper into our library. Opponent's mulliganing. Keeping his 6-card hand. We'll play the mountain and end our turn. I'm in the swamp. Yeah, mountain. That'd be bad if I put one of those in this deck. Our opponent also plays a mountain, also known as a swamp. See if he plays anything in his second main phase. So I think we play the Crusader first, because the chances that it can get in for damage are better, although I'm probably going to play Underworld Connections next turn anyway. So we'll have to see. But we'll play out our Crusader. If he has like Doomblade in his deck, we're pretty happy because he won't be able to kill anything in our deck. All right, Funeral Charm. Don't see that real often, so this could be a discard deck, which means Underworld, Runechanter's Pike. This could still be a discard deck. You don't usually see that in them, but that would make sense. Withered Wretch will be good against Runechanter's Pike. So I think I'll probably wait a turn actually to play the Stromgall, the Underworld Connections, because next turn I can play it and draw the card. This can't kill my Withered Wretch, so I'm going to play that instead, and plus I can exile his Funeral Charm at the end of his turn, so I think that seems pretty good. He could have cards with Retrace. The discard decks often do. It'll be good against that, too. All right, so we will, as I said, discard his Funeral Charm. Still, Moon Cavalier will be good against him. I'm probably going to play it now because it's so good against a black deck, especially a mono black one. So we'll play our Cavalier. He could have board sweepers, I guess, and I guess we'll find out. If he does, obviously he can still kill our Still Moon Cavalier with him. Could be about to play Mutilate or something, which wouldn't be great for us. Phyrexian Vat Mother. So Infect. Interesting. Our Still Moon Cavalier can block it all day, so I'm not super worried at this point. I do think now we're suddenly in a grindier game, so playing Underworld Connections is better. We can't swing through this thing. We can only block it with our Still Moon Cavalier. So, and then I'm going to play Gravecrawler to just, represent some more damage on the table, and I'll end the turn there. Even if he gives it first strike, it's not going to matter. So he may just poison himself to death at this point, I guess. Ghost Quarter's pretty good against our Underworld Connections. We will get to draw 1 card out of it, but that's not a great deal. Okay, he's equipping. Funeral Charming. Oh, so he's giving it Swamp Walk. Okay. That's interesting, and it's pretty effective against us right now. If he has more ways to pump it, we're in trouble. The question here is, and I think the answer is yes, that I go ahead and exile this Funeral Charm so I take less damage. So that drops it back down to 4. So 2 swings won't be enough to take us down. All right. Okay, we're going to pay 1 life to draw a card right now. Be nice to draw, well, Nykthos isn't bad. We do have Devotion of 5 right now. All right. I think, though, that we want to be attacking with just our two smaller creatures. Our two creatures that don't block as well, basically. The Stillmoon Cavalier can block the Phyrexian Vat Mother, so that's pretty good, I think. So yeah, we'll attack with these two. Obviously, the Gravecrawler can't block anyway, so... Now, do I want to play Stromgald Crusader? I think the answer is yes, because I don't actually lose any mana in doing so because of my Nykthos. So we'll play a second Crusader. So our devotion is now 2, 4, 5, 7. So we can we pump this big enough to kill that thing? Yes, we can. So that's good. We can also just use it to swing for a lot in a coming turn. So our opponent's up to 2 poison. If he uses another Funeral Charm here, we're close to dead, but not quite dead. And 5, 7, 9, 12. We couldn't quite win on the backswing, so that's going to be bad. Ooh, Funeral Charm. Of course he has that. Why not? If he has another pump spell, then we're super dead. He could Ghost Quarter my Nykthos, which would suck. Probably should have exiled Funeral Charm, but it doesn't really matter at this point. I probably will at the end of his turn, because why not? But at this point, you know, it's going to kill us in next turn anyway if he has another Funeral Charm. We've exiled 2 of them. He just played his 3rd one. So hopefully that's the last Funeral Charm we see. Our opponent's thinking, which is interesting. He could do a lot of things right now, I guess. All right. I'm going to exile his Funeral Charm. Might as well just do it now. Could matter. All right. So now we go to 8 poison. Okay. So, I mean, we're dead, barring... well, we could try to draw some removal right now. Probably draw our 1 Doomblade if we do draw removal. So our devotion is pretty high. Can we just win on this backswing? I forgot about counting Underworld Connections before. If he has removal, I don't know that we can. But the good news is we can swing with our Crusader instead. So we have 2, 3, 5, 7, 9 devotion. So we would add 9 by tapping these 3 lands, and then 11, and that's enough to pump him to 7, 9, 11. So I think we do want to swing that hard. Yeah, so I think that's what we're going to do here. Let's go ahead and swing with everybody first to make sure, well, except our Stillmoon Cavalier. It wouldn't be lethal even if I did swing with it, so we will swing with those gentlemen. You don't have flying, right? I mean, I can give this flying if I need to, but... So we're going to go ahead and add amount of black to my mana pool, which is 9. And I'll leave 1 black untapped because there's no reason in tapping more. So we'll pump our Crusader. Up to 7. So we drop him to 3. And basically he has to have another Funeral Charm. If I'd done that, it actually would have been lethal if I'd played my Swamp first. But I think it was still too risky. Like, if he just has 1 removal spell there, then we're toast. And he has to have another way of making his creature unblockable right now to kill us, which is possible, but yeah, he didn't. So after he played 3 Funeral Charms, I was like, he's not going to have a 3rd way. Okay. What do we want? We don't want Doomblade, I can tell you that. So we'll put in a Go for the Throat in place of that. It also seems like Withered Wretch is good, but it also seems like Gatekeeper of Malakir will be good if he's in a strategy where he mostly has one creature, sort of a Voltron strategy. And I can probably cut one of my Profane commands for that, and I think that's about what I would do. So yeah, that's the deck for us. That's why I have extra removal in my sideboard because of Doomblade. I mean, they're very good budget options for removal in a mono black deck, the Doomblades and the Go for the Throats, as well as the, what's it called? The thing that kills non-vampire, non-werewolf, non-zombie creatures is pretty good too. I probably should have looked to see if that thing was a zombie, but I don't. Most Phyrexian things are horrors or something, so I don't think it is. If it was one, then we're going to be a little sad we left our Victim of Nights in there, but I'm sure he has more creatures, and he just kind of, in that game, had to rely on the one. It turns out that exiling the cards in his graveyard saved us with Withered Wretch, too, because we made his dude smaller, so that worked out well for us. All right. Let us see how we do in Game 2. Okay, I think I like this hand. We have the removal we want that we couldn't draw in the last game, and we have an early Withered Wretch, and we have a fairly good chance of playing Demigod of Revenge. So, I feel pretty good about that. I'm sure our opponent's playing a land in his second main phase, otherwise he wouldn't have kept a 7 without any lands. Okay, I'm not sure what just happened there. Maybe he wants to discard a card, I guess. We didn't see a reanimation strategy out of him, but you never know. All right, well, let's see if he discards. Nope, he discarded a pike. I don't know why he kept his hand, but we're certainly not going to go easy on him because he did. We're going to get off. I mean, we don't actually have the fastest start ever, so if he starts hitting lands, he won't be too far behind. But that Demigod's not too far away, and we have a Gray Merchant in our hand too, so we've got late game if we should need it. Our opponent thinking probably about scooping, I guess, because he struggled to to get a land. He may have accidentally hit keep. I've done that before. It is frustrating, and I always do it on hands where it's like so clearly a mulligan because I'm thinking like I don't take the time to think about which thing I'm clicking on even because it's so clearly a mulligan, and that may be what our opponent did. But we don't have a turn 3 play to punish him really, so we do have a removal spell for if he ever manages to play. He must have a lot of 1-cost spells. That's entirely possible too. If he does, then he may hit something like blackmail. Want to play blackmail on us? It wouldn't do that much to us right now. But he can't hit a swamp, so. Oh, I should have exiled his blackmail, but it's probably not going to matter. And we swing again. But like I said, we're not really punishing him too hard right now. Okay. It just keeps getting weirder. I'm going to exile all the cards in his graveyard at the end of his turn this time. So we're just going to play Demigod now, and I have a feeling our opponent will just scoop at that point. But there's no reason not to be exiling these. We don't have anything else to do with our mana, so. And we know he has Runechanter's Pike too, so. Sign in Blood. Okay, well, that's just mean that we got a hand like. I mean, granted, we didn't have much early game, but our late game is pretty ferocious. I'm guessing he probably just scoops to this. Maybe not. Some people do like playing out entire games, but he's dead next turn when we play Gray Merchant. So, because it'll drain Gray Merchant alone will drain him for 9. So yeah, he lost. All right, I don't know what happened in game 2 there. Our opponent wasn't exactly like a straight up tier 1 deck, but he was in the 2-man queues, so it is a brew that he's trying to make tier 1. So I think that counts. Thanks for watching. I'll play a couple more matches in the 2-man queues. I hope you'll watch them, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.